Okay, so I think, yeah, I do remember you, Natalia. Yeah, good to see you again here. And anyway, I've seen some familiar names and last names in the chat. So welcome back. Who is with me personally here, not for the first time, but welcome everybody here. So let us start the main part of the session. Today we're talking about our resources, about what Pearson and internal education has on offer for you today. And we're going to discuss one of our latest materials, I would say. Is it's been in Ukraine, it's been like full time, so to say, in Ukraine for a year and a half. It's GoGetter. Okay, well, but before you know, every time you have a look at a new resource, it's a new material, you have a look at its title, right? And you see GoGetter, okay, and you think, oh, what is GoGetter? So who is actually, not what is, but who is a go-getter? Because actually we sometimes call people go-getters. So, you know, I've done some research on the internet, and I've come across a definition, and I'll show it to you in just a moment. But, well, ladies and gentlemen, you'll need to figure out what the correct definition is, because I have three options here. Only one is correct. So go-getter, A, somebody who enjoys getting new emotions, somebody who is energetic, determined, and works hard to be successful, or C, goes and gets things for other people. So, yeah, in your chat boxes, all right, B's, nobody goes for C. No, go and get it, goes and gets things for people. No, only B. Okay, well, yeah, I didn't expect less from you. Well done. Yeah, so B, a go-getter is a person who's energetic and who is always seeking and looking for something more and doesn't stop improving and developing. And basically, this is the idea that the authors of the book put behind it. So this is for extremely motivated teachers and for the students who'd like to be motivated by the material they learn the language with. Okay, very well done. So who is GoGetter for? Obviously, this is for the school states, first hand probably, or second hand. No worries there, because it's got the ministry brief, and it's got all the calendar planning designed to make your paperwork life easier. So state schools are experiencing wonderful results working with GoGetter, and we know it for sure. We've got many schools working with it. And obviously, it can be used in private language schools for the needs of the students who come and study and learn English there. All right. So what about the years? It's for years 5 to 8. You know, if we talk about the age, I would say that this is for students who are age 9 to 13. So it could be used in upper primary school as well. So we've got a couple of schools who start using it in Form 4. So you need to have a look at it anyway and see what it's got for you, and if it fits and if it matches the needs of your students. What about the benefits? So we are going to have a look at a couple of things that I find advantageous about this course book. One thing that it's got extremely attractive content, you know, both by means of visual support. So it's very nice when you work with it and students just enjoy all the pictures and all the design of the book, but also the material, the information, the real content that comes with it is very, very attractive to students, and they like working with this material. It's got lots of practical tasks, right? So today the students are expected to develop their competencies, to work on their life skills and stuff. So it's got this in it, and we're going to have a look at some examples just a bit later. And the approach to teaching and learning is very user-friendly and is very student-friendly, which means that, there is no rush and the students do have time to get through things and to make sure that what they learn is going to stay with them for long periods of time. So this is very convenient material for students, especially if we talk about lower secondary school students who are quite very difficult age, right, to approach. Okay, and yeah, Angelica supports me there in the chat box saying that students enjoy the book. Yeah, thank you, Angelica. That's fantastic. So, the material for this session are taken from GoGetter 3, which is A2/A2 plus level according to the Common European Framework of Reference. So we're working with this material. And like many Pearson material and like many authors who work with Pearson, they believe that the best start for a unit is to start it with some vocabulary, right? To enhance students with some target language, for them later to be able to use it in speech and when writing and recognize it in listening and reading. So everything here starts with vocabulary. So the unit we're going to have a look at is Unit 6. So this is somewhere right in the middle of a year. The students would come across it. This is about cooking and eating. I expect you had a good lunch because we are going to actually have a look at some food and watch some food in video. So if you haven't had a good lunch, then please do after the session because you might feel a bit hungry there. Okay, cooking and eating. And something I'd like to start with actually is this, right? So this one says, how many words can you remember? And actually, what I'm going to show you, I'm going to show you different categories. And your task in the chat box is to write some sample words for these categories. For example, ways to cook food. Obviously, you're not going to compare it with any partners today. But what about ways of cooking food? Do you know any apart from boil? That is a sample there. Fry. Okay, good. Steam. Grill, stew, roast. Fantastic. Stew, lots of stew. Okay. Mash and peel. Is it really cooking food? Baking, the boiling, grill, roast, fry. Mix. Is it really again about cooking the food? Okay, good, fantastic, right? Very, very good answers. And stir is okay. Add. All right. What about ways to prepare vegetables for cooking? For example, peel, because something that you've mentioned in the chat box would rather go with this category, yes, but not with cooking itself. Dice and mix and cut and peel and chop. Good. And mash and mix. Squeeze. Yeah, with the lemon, you would do that, obviously. Cut. Slice. Wash properly. Oh, I agree with that, Natalia. Yeah, you have to wash it properly first. 100%. Okay, and spread. Okay, fantastic. One more category to go. Things you use to cook food. So what about some cooking utensils? For example, for instance, a bowl here, cup, pen, spatula, oh my, knife, pot, and then spoon, casserole, kettle, plate, fantastic, and a pan and a spoon. Yeah, obviously you need those to eat, right? Frying pan, okay, fantastic. And then a bowl there, good, and a pot. All right, then a glass and a baking pan. Oh my. Okay, fantastic, guys. Thank you very much. Lots of very nice ideas, and I see that you're very progressive and high level teachers there, knowing all these in the mixer. Okay, fantastic, good. So we'll come actually, we'll come to this part or to this box just a bit later, but it's fantastic to know, so many different vocabulary for food. So actually, this is the spread. This is the 2 pages that come at the very beginning of the unit 6, and these are 2 pages of vocabulary. So what you could see here and what the students work with is these 2 boxes with the target language, with the target vocabulary, and this is cooking verbs and cooking nouns. So you've written lots of them, actually lots of these that come on the slide you've mentioned in the chat box. Fantastic. Some of you might ask me, okay, Gennady, but what about the food words? Well, so it's about cooking and it's about eating. What about food itself? Well, actually, if we talk about GoGetter 3, right, A2, A2 plus level, at this stage, the students are expected to know some vocabulary already. Yes, and we as teachers believe and hope that they do remember some words from the previous years, right? From the previous times they came across the food topic. And at the beginning of the lesson, it's elicited from the students, right, with the help of the book. So it says, how many words can you add to each group? And it says the rubric is called I know that. So this is the elicitation that happens, and the students might show off, right, how many words they know, right, how much vocabulary they have there and they know there. And it's a very nice thing for us as teachers to say, oh, okay, they know lots of vegetables, they know lots of fruit, but, well, milk products and meat products are not, that known to students, and you add them on the way. So yes, eliciting, like Svetlana Shulga, who I also see not for the first time there, says, yes, eliciting is a very nice thing there. And then everything comes with pictures. So all the processes and all the verbs and all the cooking nouns, the students see visualized right there in the book. So it's very good for visual learners and just for everybody who, can't, imagine what boil or bake is. So there are wonderful pictures to support students. And actually, if you ask me, all right, is there anything like, well, earlier you said about something being practical about the book. Well, actually, there is a practical activity here as well, because this one says, here are 3 simple recipes for you to try. So while learning vocabulary, here the students could learn 3 simple recipes. And I think the parents would appreciate it as much as you probably, because, well, when their kids come home and say, okay, mom, today we're going to have a cake there, or, chicken legs. Yes. And this is a very nice practical thing about it. Yes. Some very simple, easy to make recipes for students to learn together with discussing and talking and learning about food in general. All right, the simplest one is making sandwich. Yeah, absolutely true. There is no sandwich here, however, but there is a fruit salad and a cake and some chicken legs. So there is a practical bit to it as well. All right, so apart from the things that I have already mentioned about vocabulary, there is also some listening activities here. So the students would know how to pronounce the words correctly, and they would hear the pronunciation there, right? So we work there as teachers, obviously, and they listen a lot to us, to our pronunciation. So having listening there is also a good thing. Plus, in exercise 7, there they have another listening context. So it's not just repeat after the speaker or anything. And do you remember this box? Yes, I remember that. Actually, it does come at the end of a vocabulary section for students. And this is where they have the time to reflect, just to remember how many words they have learned for cooking food, for preparing food, nouns for cooking. And again, this is the chance for us as teachers to assess how much they have covered. You know, this reflection stage doesn't appear very often in a regular lesson because, for instance, me as a teacher, I don't have often time to get down to this stage of reflection and just to ask my students, all right, guys, so what we have learned today, what words for this do you remember? What words for that do you remember? So the book suggests that, right? And it's a very nice stage of the lesson for students and teachers to understand how much they have covered and how much they remember at the end of the vocab lesson. Okay, so we've discussed and we've had a look with you at how vocabulary is approached in GoGetter, and I hope that you see that it's a very logical step-by-step approach, leading students from what they know by the beginning of the unit or by the beginning of the vocabulary lesson to the end of what new things they have learned and they remember. If we have talked about vocabulary, then all of you would probably guess or would probably say, okay, what about grammar in GoGetter? So how is grammar done, or how is grammar learned by students? So here it comes. No surprise, grammar. So I know that among the teachers of English in Ukraine, there are lots of grammar lovers and who like teaching grammar, though at the same time don't find it very easy because, you know, it doesn't matter how many times our students learn this or that grammar structure or this or that grammar topic, they still need to recycle and refresh and to reinforce it, yes, every single next year. So lots of grammar lovers, and there is lots of grammar here in GoGetter. Actually, there are 4 grammar lessons within one unit. So it's still the same, unit 6 with GoGetter, 4 different grammar lessons. Some of you might say, well, Gennady, isn't it too much? I mean, 4 grammar lessons, isn't it too much for students? I would tell you, well, you might think so at the beginning, but then my job today is to show you that how different grammar is here, that it is approached in a variety of different ways, and the students only benefit from having 4 lessons of grammar there. All right, so actually, these 4 lessons of grammar are focused around one grammar topic. It's only present perfect. So these are no, 4 different grammar topic lessons. They're all around one and the same topic. And can you imagine that your students are not going to have 1 or 2 lessons to practice and to use present perfect, but 4 lessons. 2 of them are concentrated on present perfect affirmative and negative. And well, you all have already guessed that other 2 are going to be about question forms, about interrogatives. So 4 lessons on present perfect. Different aspects of present perfect are focused on here. Let us have a closer look at what differentiates one grammar lesson compared to another one. So the first one is on present perfect affirmative and negative, and it comes together with a video, which is called We've Brought Dessert. So why talk about video if we can watch the video with you, right? If GoGetter has it, why not do it? So actually, you can see here Emma, grandmother, and 2 boys, and they are preparing to have some lunch. Your task, ladies and gentlemen, while watching, is to answer this question. So what are Gran, Emma, and the boys are going to eat for lunch? So watch the video. As soon as you hear some familiar food names or food titles and phrases, please be ready to type them in the chat box. Okay? So, what are they going to have for lunch? Let's watch and enjoy it.
Gran Bertie and Emma are cooking Sunday lunch for the family.
I've chopped the cucumber, Gran. What's next?
Let's have a look. Okay. Put some olive oil and lemon juice in a small bowl and mix them with a spoon.
All the small bowls are in the dishwasher. It hasn't finished. How about this mug?
Yes, that's fine.
Hi Gran, hi Emma. We've brought dessert.
Oh, good. Gran hasn't made dessert today.
Yes, I have. I've baked apples.
Apples are fruit, Gran, not dessert.
What's for lunch?
We've made chicken pie, chips and salad.
Good, I'm starving.
George, Harry, can you set the table, please? I've taken out the knives and forks. They're over there. The plates are in the cupboard. Emma, put the chips on the table.
Gran?
All right. Okay. So a chicken pie and chips salad. Good. And a salad, yeah, chips. Okay, they're going to eat chicken pie, baked apples, yeah? Which is not a dessert, but fruit, right? Okay, good. Fantastic, yeah, very good result. Very, very, very correct answers. And chicken pie, yeah, good, good, good. All right. So, well, it does come, I mean, the page and the lesson with the script. So it does come as possible for reading as well on the page. And well, you see that I didn't concentrate your attention yet on any grammar. However, I'm sure that you heard some samples of present perfect affirmative and negative. They're in the video, right? And also what you might have noticed, right, that it also comes together with lots of vocabulary, with lots of verbs and nouns that come with cooking, and the students have covered in the previous vocabulary lessons. So it does recycle and it does refresh some words that the students have already learned, which is a fantastic thing for a book to do. Yes. And well, you again, all of you noticed, no problem, that the sign at the end said to be continued, and you understand that this is not the very end of the video, right? So why do you think Emma is surprised? In the chat boxes, can you, well, make some predictions? Why could Emma be surprised at the end of the video? Well, who's going to be number 1, 2, 3 with some crazy predictions? Oh, some predictions that are very, very sensible and might happen in reality. So again, in the chat box, why do you think she is surprised at the end? Chicken pie is sweet. She's burned them. Okay. She dropped something. No chips. No idea. Well, come on. Who wrote that? Victoria. Like, okay, no chips. They forgot to put chicken. No salad. Boys have brought some dessert. No meat. Okay. Maybe something has eaten chips. That's a nice guess. Hasn't finished. Okay, good. So excellent. Well, different guesses. So that would be something went wrong. Well, obviously, yeah, good. So now, well, you would have a chance and watch a short ending to this extract and see what really happened. And well, you could check if any of your predictions were good. So let us do that.
Gran, there aren't enough chips for everyone.
That bowl was full a few minutes ago. Who's eaten them?
It wasn't me.
Or me.
Sorry, it was me. But I've left some for you.
9 chips. Wow. Thanks.
No need to argue. Harry, start peeling potatoes. You've got a lot of chips to make. Chop, chop.
Okay, good. Yeah, so there were some correct guesses, and it does happen in real life, Natalia. Yeah, okay, good. I think, well, I hope that it didn't happen in your life before a very important event where you had to have this dish on the table, but then somebody had eaten it. But anyway, yeah, so this is a nice continuation, and the students here, and it happens with every single video in this lesson, so the students can predict what the ending is, and they can do it in pairs or in groups and give some reasoning to why they think this way, and then compare their answers with what comes in the video. So yeah, it's nice. It's very often funny and good presentation, right, of grammar, so to say, because you see that the students don't learn any grammar rules by now, right? They don't have any grammar boxes, and you don't do any explanation of any present perfect at this stage. They rather get implicitly presented so that grammar structure. Yes, they hear it in the video, and they see how it functions, and they do some listening activities there, and they recycle some vocabulary. So, right, unintentionally, they do get exposed to lots of target language here. So this is the first grammar lesson with GoGetter. After this one, the second is based around actually another video, and it's still about present perfect, affirmative, and negative. This video is featuring, this is a grammar animation video. It's featuring these 4 characters: Anna, Max, Hammy the hamster, and Fluffy the cat. And well, what happens here is basically the students are getting engaged through another video, through another context for this grammar, and they are presented, right, to this grammar using a different video. So if the students get engaged with video, I see no objection, and well, for us to watch yet another funny video that comes with GoGetter, which is called Get Grammar. You know, I decided not to give you any task in advance, so nothing really to answer, no questions here at the beginning or before you watch the video. However, I'm going to pause it somewhere in the middle and ask you for something, which means, guys, that you still need to be very, very attentive while watching the video. So obviously enjoy it, have some fun, but be attentive. Try not to miss out on anything. Okay, let's do that.
Get Grammar. You've eaten my biscuits.
I'm so hungry. Oh no! Max hasn't done the shopping.
But look, he's left some milk. And he hasn't eaten all the biscuits.
I've opened a bottle of lemonade and I've got some nuts.
Hammy, you've eaten my biscuits.
I haven't touched your biscuits.
Well, someone has eaten them. And someone has drunk the milk too.
It wasn't me, Fluffy. Oh, where are my nuts? I haven't eaten them. That's strange. I can't see anyone.
Okay, guys. So the question to you, who do you think has eaten all the biscuits and has drunk all the milk? Again, in the chat boxes. Okay, a mouse, mice, yeah, actually, it seems that I spoiled it at the beginning, not rewinding the video backwards. However, there is a guess that a parrot, yeah, okay, good. Right, so let's watch it a bit more and see if you were correct with your predictions.
Anne, look! Come on, guys, we're having a party.
Look and learn. I have opened a bottle of lemonade. I've opened a bottle of lemonade.
All right, guys. I'm not going to play the video until the end with you here, but I think you have guessed what would happen afterwards, right? So after the cartoon, after the students have seen the cartoon, they're taken through the forms of present perfect, affirmative, and negative, and the samples of this from the cartoon appear on the slide, and they're taken through contractions and through negative forms and through third person singular, he, she, it, and whatnot. So the form is delivered to students after the cartoon is watched by them. So this is how it happens, right? The grammar presentation happens with the help of Get Grammar, which is another funny video that comes together with this resource. And after that, the students learn the rules, obviously with your help and support. And they have lots of controlled written practice, and they have some controlled, some more or less like controlled or free oral practice there. So the lesson is designed to according to all the communicative purposes, right, and strategies, taking the students from a wonderful video presentation to practicing it. I mean, present perfect, affirmative, and negative in speech. Yes, so step by step, the students are learning present perfect, practicing it both in a controlled and in a freer mode. Okay. Then the third lesson, which is on grammar, is now on present perfect question forms. And the idea is still the same like with lesson number 1, right? The students learn grammar, or they learn about grammar in an implicit way. Yes, so this time it's a funny comic context. So it's about this Dr. Q and Drop who very often gets into trouble. And again, this is something that students enjoy reading, right? Different comic strips. And again, not a single rule yet appears to students. So they learn about it in context. However, if I show you the script, well, basically this reading text closer, you see that there are lots of samples of present perfect questions and of short answers here for students, together with reading the text and doing some listening activities and improving their listening skills as well. But still, this is the context. This is students meeting grammar and learning in what circumstances and in what situations it can be used. Before, the students, again, work with rules and practice and whatnot. And yet again, you see the Get Grammar video. Besides, do you remember what is the name of this hamster? Again, in the chat box, who is the first one? Who remembers his name? So the cat is Fluffy, and yeah, Hemi the hamster. Yeah, good. So it's another Get Grammar video. So it's another episode featuring these characters. So all in all, right, in four grammar lessons, the students watch 2 video types, with 2 grammar animation videos there, and read a comic strip with Dr. Q and Rob there. And actually, this final 4th lesson finishes with something that is called Fun Sport. And this is also a practical bit to this grammar section, so to say. Here, for example, students need to work with their peers, right, with their classmates, and they need to make a class survey. They need, well, this is the task where all the grammar is consolidated, because here they need to ask questions using present perfect. They need to give short answers, and they could give some longer answers, giving some details, right? And this is where they ask about something that they have never done before. So, for example, if you ask me, I could say that I have never, that I have never sung in a karaoke bar. So I have sung some karaoke in my life, but I have never been to a real karaoke bar. What about yourself, guys? In the chat box, can you finish the sentence? What have you personally not done ever in your life? Right? Tried any drugs? That's very good. Good. Been abroad. Oh my, Ludmila, I wish you to go abroad if it's true, or if it's not just, like I very often tell my students, it doesn't have to be 100% true. You can make something up. I have never flown in a balloon. Okay. I have never eaten snails and smoked. Won a lottery. Actually, that's the same about me. I have never won a lottery, and actually I have never eaten snails as well. Being a president. Okay, Alexandra Holod, would you like to? Tried surfing. I have never been to Paris. Something very concrete here. Yes, not abroad, but to Paris. No, Alexandra says she wouldn't like to be a president. Okay, I've never been to London. Done bungee jumping. Yeah, the same about me. I have never done it as well. Sailed a yacht. Well, actually, I did it a long time ago. Okay. Good, fantastic. So this is where the content, right, becomes personalized. The students have the opportunity to talk about themselves and share their experiences and thoughts and whatever. And you could continue it with any follow-ups, like me here is, would you like to be a president? Oh, that's the same about me. But would you still like to try bungee jumping? So personal activities are always good to finish any lesson with. Okay, good. So, all right, just a second. Okay, there it goes. So all in all, right, there are 4 lessons, 4 grammar lessons, but you see that the approach is different types of videos, a comic strip, fun activities, lots of practice, and obviously even learning the same present perfect. I'm sure the students are not going to be bored because they do lots of various things on the way when learning it. All right. Now, with you so far, we have watched and discussed, different food. And that was like, we were talking basically about food in general, but what about some very British food? Let us have a look if you know any food that is, you know, eaten maybe not only in Britain, but which is considered very British. So here it comes. 6 samples here on this slide, and you see that one of this is Welsh rabbit. Somebody thinks that it comes with rabbit meat in it, but actually no. I checked with my colleague Chris, and he says there is no rabbit in this dish. And then there is Stilton cheese, and then there is Brighton Rock, which is a hard candy that is very often sold at the seaside and brought home as a present, right? However, and I see some of you are typing there some of the things, but I'd like to draw your attention to the 3 pictures that I took the names away from. And actually here come the names. So B, C, and D. Some of it is Stargazy pie, some of this is Scottish shortbread and Yorkshire pudding. So in your chat boxes, can you please write 1, 2, 3, and then B, C, or D picture that you think it stands for? So number 1, which B, C, or D do you think Stargazy pie is? And then which B, C, or D Scottish shortbread is, and Yorkshire pudding? 1B. So you think, yeah, many of you think that Stargazy pie is picture B, but somebody thinks like Natalia Ivanova, right, that 1 is D, 2B, 3C, 2 Scottish shortbread C. So different answers actually. Okay. 3D Yorkshire pudding D. The traditional dessert B. Okay, all right. So actually various answers. Yeah, so yeah, I did try to make it a bit misleading, and some of them are typical, as I have mentioned, only for Britain. Okay, so let's check. Well, 1 is D, 2B, and 3C. Actually, I saw some of you mention that Scottish shortbread is their traditional dessert, and actually that's true. So the Scottish shortbread is sweet, actually. Yeah, I learned that actually with the help of GoGetter and Chris. I'd never known that before. And Stargazy pie, actually, Chris mentioned that it's something very typical for Britain, especially, and it comes like a very traditional food. Okay, good. So good to know that you know a lot, but still some new information you've learned about very British food with me here as well. All right. So this very British food, it comes from 2 lessons that are called Get Culture. And you see that on the left come this food to try in the UK, which is basically a reading lesson with the texts telling students about this very typical British food. And it comes with the exercises and activities to accompany this text. So this is a reading lesson where students learn a lot about traditional British food. And then another lesson, which is based around the video, around the BBC video, and it's called British Takeaway Food. So, well, do you think the British takeaway food is the same as their traditional food? So actually, the question to you guys here is this. What do you think, again, write in your chat boxes, what do you think is the most popular takeaway food in the UK? So somebody's mentioning fish and chips and fish and chips and fish and chips. It seems like fish and chips are winning at the moment. And a hamburger, somebody mentioned. Okay, fish and chips. Pizza. Why not? No, it's junk food. All of it is junk food, or I mean, fish and chips. Well, it's fast. Chicken curry. Burgers. Chicken tikka masala. Oh, nice. That's a very nice guess. Some lovers or some knowers of Indian cuisine here. Chicken tikka masala. I think fish and chips. Noodles. Okay. Tea with milk. Oh my. Okay. Possible. Somewhere in the midday. Yeah. Potatoes. Okay. So again, we're not going to talk about BBC, guys. We're going to watch it. So you are going to watch an extract. I'm not going to play the whole bit to you. An extract from a BBC program. And well, please check again your predictions. I see that most of you went for fish and chips. However, there were some Indian and Italian cuisines mentioned. Well, so let's check if you were true. Okay, let's do that.
Hi, and welcome to Get Culture. Today, we're finding out about takeaway food in the UK. A takeaway is a meal you can order from a restaurant and eat at home. Have you ever ordered a takeaway? What did you order? My favourite takeaway food is Chinese. People in the UK spend over £30 billion a year on takeaways. The UK has the most takeaway restaurants in the whole of Europe. Today, many people work long hours and have longer to travel to and from their jobs. People have less time to cook, so takeaway food is a popular choice. British people have enjoyed fish and chips for over 150 years. The first fish and chip shops, or chippies, opened in the 1860s. Let's find out how to make fish and chips. First, make a batter with flour, salt and water. Then dip pieces of white fish in it. Fry the fish in very hot oil until the batter is crispy. Chips are easy. Peel and chop the potatoes and fry them. And you mustn't forget to add salt and vinegar. That looks tasty. Now let's find out about some other popular takeaways in the UK. Chinese restaurants have served takeaways since the late 1950s. Today, Chinese is the most popular type of takeaway in the country. British people eat 8 million meals a week. You can cook most Chinese takeaway dishes in a wok. A wok is a large, deep frying pan. The first Indian restaurant in the UK opened in London in 1809, and today...
Okay, I'm not going, as I said, I'm not going to play it until the end. But you see lots of, well, firsthand, the video is fantastic because there is lots of, again, examples of the food that the students have learned through the units. Is there, yes, vocabulary, again, is recycled and reinforced by the students again. And yeah, after a long day at work, this video is a real torture. Everything looks so tasty. Yeah, that's what I mentioned at the beginning. There's going to be some food in our session. So yeah, I'm sorry if you haven't had a proper lunch. Yeah, so tasty, but you see the most popular takeaway food is Chinese, actually. Yes, there is lots of fish and chips. But if we talk about the most popular and the food that's sold most, right, it's Chinese food. However, lots of fish and chips there as well. Okay. So together with this, obviously, with the video, the students get some practice activities there, and everything is finished with a project. So the students need to research their native country, which in our case is Ukraine, right? And they need to look for different areas of Ukraine and see what the popular dishes there are. And actually what is very practical about any project, basically, and this one is no exception, here the students need to come up, they need to create a food guide with photos of the food that is popular here or there in Ukraine. And I think that this is fantastic. If our students come up with something like they experienced in a reading lesson, if they have the map of Ukraine, and if they have the pictures of different food that's popular there, and if they have the names, maybe short descriptions of what it comes with, or how it is served, or how it is cooked. So I think that would be really, really valuable for the students in the class to learn how different dishes are popular in different parts of Ukraine, because Ukraine is big, and we know with you for sure that it's got something to offer in terms of food and dishes there. Okay, so 3 different types of video that come together with GoGetter, and we have had a look at all of them and see what a benefit it would be for students to experience it and to use it when learning English. And I think this would be very motivating for them, right, and engaging as well. So if we come back to these 3 things that I announced at the beginning about GoGetter, right? So it having attractive content, very nice pictures, videos, comic strips, fun spots, so everything to, you know, basically drag students' attention and eyes to everything that comes with GoGetter. It's got lots of practical tasks, and we've had a look with you at just a couple of them. For example, yes, they would learn how to cook some simple dishes, make a class survey, and create a food guide of the local Ukrainian food. And a learner-friendly approach, it is a step-by-step journey when students learn vocabulary and grammar and improve their skills in a very student-centered and in a very user-friendly way, when they're not pushed right through new things just in time of one lesson, but they're exposed to a variety of different alternatives where they learn vocabulary, grammar, and where they improve and practice their skills. And you know, one thing that would be shame if I don't mention about GoGetter is that with every single workbook, all the students, even if you use the traditional set of books, like a paper student's book and a paper workbook, they anyway get the access to lots of extra material online together with the platform My English Lab. So every workbook comes together with a scratch code that enables students to experience some extra activities online, which are not the same as in paper workbook and in paper student's book. So what's inside? There are 56 video-based extra practice activities that students could do being online, being registered on the platform. There are all the video extracts that come together with the book. Also, they're available for students. So no need for you even to, if you don't have a proper equipment in the classroom, or if you have your online teaching, this is very easily accessible by students there. And then there are 12 online tests that are set, assigned, and checked right by the system instantly. And then there are 36 photocopyable resources for you to accompany all the units of the book. And some of you who would like to go for this blended approach to teaching languages could go for a full blended version, having all the content of the workbook plus extra online practice, fully digital, fully online when working with your students. So the benefits for the teachers, just 3 of them. There are lots of benefits actually, guys, but again, instant and detailed results. No longer you need to check their homework. The system does everything for you. It's a real time savior when you prepare for a class or when you have a class. So if you go for a full blended version, you wouldn't check homework at the beginning of the next lesson because it's going to be done by the platform. And well, the parents, you could always show to parents their kids' progress, how much they have accomplished, how many times they have tried to do an activity, what their progress is within learning the language. And what about the students? Well, this is their natural environment. They are online, a lot today, right? And they use the social media and YouTube and videos and whatnot. They also experience instant scores, so the results are there for them, and they can improve their results by doing the activity 2 or 3 times, for example, if you think it's valuable for them. Okay, guys, so today we've had a look at GoGetter, which is one of our latest materials for lower secondary school school years 5 to 8, which takes students from level pre-A1 all to A2 plus strong, and the beginning of B1, the beginning of intermediate level comes together with GoGetter 4.